Have you ever seen an Air Force Honor Guard saber sword cordon? If you have, I'm sure that you thought it looked very sharp, crisp, and professional. Hello, I am Kevin Thornhill, Program Manager for the Shepherd Air Force Base Honor Guard. Today, I'm going to brief you about the Air Force Honor Guard saber sword cordon, as referenced in United States Air Force Base Honor Guard Training Manual. The purpose of this briefing is to give you a better understanding of how a saber sword cordon works. I will do this by discussing the purpose of the cordon, basic standing positions when performing a detail, and then I will go over the entire sequence of the saber sword cordon. First, let's discuss the purpose of the saber sword cordon. Saber sword cordons may be used at official Air Force award ceremonies, weddings of military personnel, and should not be confused with or used in lieu of an Air Force honor cordon. Saber sword cordons are used at Air Force award ceremonies to recognize nominees and award winners. It is also used at the end of a wedding for military members and their spouse to pass through and be honored. Saber sword cordons are not the same as an honor cordon. An honor cordon is two lines of military personnel just standing at the position of attention. They do this when dignified arrival comes to a base. The saber sword cordon can be used with the honor cordon, but once again should never be used in lieu of. Now that we have discussed the purpose of the saber sword cordon, I will show you some basic standing manuals when performing the detail. We will discuss the positions of draw sword, carry sword, present and order arms, and return sword. Before the detail can march anywhere, they must have their swords drawn and at the position of carry. This is done by the command of draw sword. The preparatory command is draw. At this point, the detail will grasp the scabbard with their left hand, tilting it forward to form a 45-degree angle, and grab the sword with their right hand. On the command of execution, which is sword, the sword is pulled out of the scabbard and held in the position of carry sword. Let me demonstrate. Draw, sword. In the position of carry sword, the individual is at the position of attention and the sword is held with the inner blade edge running vertical right by the individual's right shoulder. This position is assumed to give commands, change position when being addressed or addressing someone while the sword is drawn and before returning the sword to the scabbard. The position present arms is executed from the position of carry. On the preparatory command present, the sword is brought 4 inches from the chin, so the tip of the sword is at a 45-degree angle. On the command arms, the individual will extend the arm and forming a straight line with the sword, and the sword will be held at a 45-degree angle upward. The position order arms will be called after all honorees have passed through the cordon. When the detail receives the preparatory command of order, they should bring their swords down together with the tip of the sword 6 inches from the marching surface. On the command of execution arms, they will bring the sword back to carry. Let me demonstrate. Present, hump, order, hump. Once a ceremony has been completed and the detail marches away from the stage, they have to return their sword to the scabbard. They accomplish this by receiving the command return sword. At the preparatory command return, the forearm is held parallel to the marching surface with the sword vertical. On the command of sword, 3 actions take place simultaneously. The sword is pivoted downward toward the scabbard. The scabbard is grasped with the left hand and turned at a 45-degree angle. And the sword is returned into the scabbard with 6 with 6 inches showing of the blade still showing. After the command "ready cut," the sword is smartly thrusted into the scabbard and the bearer resumes the position of attention. Ready, cut! Knowing these basic standing manuals will help the entire ceremony go as smooth and look very crisp. Let's discuss the entire sequence of a basic saber sword cordon. The cordon enters the performance area, tallest to short, and at the position of carry sword. They will then pick up an automatic mark. These two I think can say so.
Once all honorees have exited the cordon, the OIC or NCOIC will give the command "ready face." At this point, the cordon members will face the direction that they entered. The OIC or NCOIC will give the command "forward march," so they can march to a predetermined location. Once they arrive at that location, they will return swords and will be dismissed. Air Force saber sword cordons can be the most sharp, crisp, and professional looking details that an honor guard member will perform. If performed properly, in accordance with the United States Air Force Base Honor Guard Training Manual, commanders and supervisors will always applaud your hard work and dedication. Today we have discussed the purpose of the saber sword cordon, the basic standing positions when performing a detail, and the basic saber sword cordon sequence as it is performed. I hope that this gives you a better understanding of the United States Air Force saber sword cordon. Thank you for your time and attention, and this concludes my briefing.